Hello, everybody. Welcome to Armchair Expert. I'm Dax Shepard. Across from me is...
Manica Padman.
You always nail it. You always remember your name, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. I have a very good memory.
Yeah, especially for your name.
Mm-hmm.
I get a little anxiety as I throw it to you that you're going to trip up.
I might forget it.
Yeah.
There's always a chance.
Deborah Padman. And I'd be like, oof. Monica,
Take two.
you went ahead and changed out Monica for Deborah.
I wish. I do not like my name.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's a great name.
Thanks.
Monica?
Yeah, I'm sorry to all the Monicas out there. I don't mean to hate, but it's a bad name.
Can I tell you the funniest thing about my grandmother?
Sure.
You actually already know this, I think.
Okay.
But my sweet Grandma Midge down in Florida,
Mm-hmm.
loveliest little lady. Her birth name is Madeline.
I love that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think there's a book series called Madeline. There's cookies named Madeline.
Sure.
Whatever. And she found that name to be so grotesque that she went by Midge. She thought Midge was much prettier than Madeline.
That says so much about her. It says everything about her.
Well, it says a ton about her generation because she said that was like a grandparent name.
Madeline.
Yeah, it'd be like if you're named Bertha right now.
Sure.
That still resonates as a grandma. But maybe in 18 years, Bertha will seem beautiful
They
again.
do circle back.
Yeah, Martha.
Uh-huh.
Martha's just kind of making its way back,
Come back.
I guess. We, on our trip to New York, where we did a couple live shows in Brooklyn, which was so fun.
So fun.
We then scampered around the city and just picked off people we'd been dying to talk to but live in New York.
That's right.
And one of those folks was the esteemed Seth Meyers.
That's right. It was a big get, you guys.
It was a very big get. It was very generous of him. He's got a very packed schedule.
Oh, yeah. We basically ambushed the office.
We did. We kind of just burst through the doors of the 30 Rock security and then squatted in his office. That's not true. He was very quick to say yes and to make time, and he set us up in the conference room. So we were out of our element.
And we had a very tasty pizza while we waited.
Yes, I was a little full when this started.
Sure.
So if you sense any
fullness,
lethargy?
Yeah.
Lethargy.
I think lethargy.
Yeah, that's the cheese.
Lethargic.
Talking. I was lethargic, and there was a little bit of lethargy going on. That's just the cheese's fault, not your host's.
Sure.
Blame the cheese. Seth Meyers, amazing writer on Saturday Night Live, amazing Weekend Update host, and then, of course, his show Spectacular. You know it, and you'll hear me say this. I have such a boner for people who are hard workers.
Yeah.
It's like my ultimate turn on.
Me too.
This guy's one of those. Before we go to Seth, I just want to let you guys know that there is a bonus episode on Thursday in a few days that is the first release of our live shows. We will be now doling them out. I know a lot of people are anxiously waiting. Some of the people they found out were guests, and we are now getting to those guests. So sit tight and get ready for the first of our live shows. That'll be in a few days. So please enjoy Seth Meyers. We get support from Quince.
Have you been wearing the Quince linen shirts?
Yeah, I've been wearing them a suspicious amount. Yeah, European linen ones, they're $34, which is genuinely insane for how nice they are.
It doesn't even make sense.
Well, here's the deal. They work directly with the factories, cut out all the middlemen, so you're paying for the actual quality and not some brand's marketing budget. Everything's 50 to 80% less than comparable stuff. I love it because it's all very classic and traditional, and I know I'm going to be able to keep it for a very long time, and the quality's off the charts.
That's true. The style is very consistent. Whatever you get there, you walk down the street, you're going to look good. They have these lightweight cotton sweaters, which I love for when it cools down at night. It's nice drape around your shoulders in the summer and then throw it on when it gets a little cool. And it's not just clothes. They do home stuff, ding, 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 travel stuff, everyday essentials. It's all the same model, quality without the markup.
Make your summer wardrobe easier. Go to quince.com/Dax for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/Dax for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Dax. This episode is supported by Helix. All right, let's talk about something we both really care deeply about, sleep.
It's the most important thing. I've had my Helix mattress for years now, and I genuinely think it's one of the best investments you can make for your home. Mine still feels just like it did when I first got it.
Well, that's the thing. It's not one of those mattresses that caves in after 6 months. These things are built to last. And, I'm a side sleeper. I ordered a side sleeper and I get hot, so I have cooling. And I can't tell you how much more comfortable it is to be in there, not sweating and tossing and turning.
Cooling is really important. I've read that you're supposed to sleep a little bit cold.
Mm-hmm.
So I also have cooling. And they have over 20 models, so it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. You just go take their quiz and they match you to what actually works for your body.
Plus, they've got cooling upgrades, which heading into summer, non-negotiable.
Truly.
Go to helixsleep.com/armchair for 20% off. That's helixsleep.com/armchair for 20% off. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. helixsleep.com/armchair.
He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert.
How many have you done?
55, 60.
Wow, pretty nice getting that many people to come.
We should talk about that, in fact, because
please.
when you started your show, were you in the position to have to call in favors or ask friends at the beginning?
Yeah, and I had no luck.
Oh, you didn't?
It was really for the first week.
Okay.
I shouldn't say I had no luck. I had a little bit of luck.
But the first week.
Yeah. First show was Polar and Vice President Joe Biden. It was a good first show.
That's really big.
And
did you have any kind of friendship with Biden?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
So that was nice of him to do.
Yeah.
And Brad Paisley, I'm friendly with Brad Paisley. He did our first week. Kelly Ripa did our first week, friendly with her.
Uh-huh. Paisley's a very nice guy, right?
Paisley, do you know the story about how I knew Brad Paisley?
No.
Brad Paisley, my sister-in-law, Ariel Ash.
That's right. Kristen's best friend from college.
The week of our wedding, Ariel knows Brad Paisley's wife's sister.
Perfect.
Via that, asks, my wife's a huge country music fan, a huge Brad Paisley fan. Asks,
They're from Oklahoma or something like that, Missouri?
They're from New Mexico. They really,
New Mexico, that's right.
It kind of counts.
That
but
doesn't explain it then, sorry.
They she writes and says, would you want to play at Seth Meyers' wedding? I do not know this man.
Right.
And he says, sure. I'm a huge SNL fan. I'd happily do it. But I need to hear from Seth. I don't want to just show up and have the groom be surprised I'm coming.
Yeah.
So I had to email him and say this would be great. And he and Kim Williams, who coincidentally, I went to college with Kim. I didn't know her, but she was a big deal. Yeah, Kim Williams, who was father of the bride, and did that when she was in college. She was the biggest deal at Northwestern.
Uh-huh.
And so they flew themselves to Martha's Vineyard, and my father-in-law had them stop and pick up alcohol on the way. They also made him do an errand. And we've been friends with them ever since. But it surprised my wife. And it was such a boon for me because my wife and I had gone to one dancing class to learn a first dance. Mm-hmm. And I'm a terrible dancer, and the only person who's a worse dancer than I am is my wife, Alexi. Uh-huh. And I was dreading it. I was dreading that we had this moment during our wedding. I've spent my whole career trying to avoid the things I'm bad at.
Sure.
And I didn't, in front of everybody, want to do a thing I was bad at. And then our surprise was that it was Brad Paisley, and she was so in awe and shocked that we just kind of rocked back and forth while she watched him, and we totally did not have to do that first dance.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Where do you guys go to take a dance class?
Somewhere in Manhattan. We were sent somewhere.
Like a private instruction?
Private instruction.
Okay.
Yeah, a private instruction where we choreographed one specific to us.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think when it's over, the plan would be for the dance instructor to say, you guys are going to be great. You're going to knock it out of the park. And ours was very much, so you guys, you need to practice.
Right.
And
Right. You're going to need to run this a couple hundred times.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is I fancy myself a good dancer. I'm going to brag for a second. Yet, when I've been in a movie where they've had to do a dance number, which has happened a couple times, I'm very bad at taking the instruction. There's something about the mirror image of it all. Like they're moving their right hand and then I'm confused.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't be able to do that.
It's hard, right?
Yeah. We used to do that at SNL. And that's a situation where there aren't a lot of great dancers in an SNL cast.
Okay.
And I think there are probably some pretty good comedy dancers, but every now and then when there's
Polar's a great dancer.
Polar's a great dancer,
enough.
and she would do I think she would be one of the go-tos for if you needed a backup dancers for a monologue. But the few times I had to do that, it was gruesome.
Like hip hop in general, she can kind of.
Yeah.
She seems to really be able to do.
And she came up in a really fun era of hip hop where there was actual popular hip hop was danceable.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there was prescriptive dances. Like I remember as a kid even, like the Running Man, you'd see it, you could spend an hour or two doing it and you could learn it.
Yeah.
You were never out on your own. You kind of just could do these set dances.
There's that interesting thing right now where part of me is thinking, yeah, that doesn't happen anymore. But then I realize if it was happening, it wouldn't get to me.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
there probably are prescriptive dances right now, but
I guess
I've
you're
aged
right.
out of it.
There seems to be one where people move their hands one way and their hips the opposite
yeah.
way.
Very popular.
Well, now I don't play it, but what's the game that all the kids play? It's a video game.
Oh, Dance Dance Revolution?
No,
or
no,
something? That's like
Fortnite.
12 years ago.
I know, yeah, that is.
It's
now.
like a Fortnite, and it strikes a lot of my friends who have older kids than mine say their kids play it, and there's a dancing element. Like if you win the game, your character does a dance.
Oh, well, that.
But you pay. And again, for those listening who know this, I apologize.
Sure. And to the owners of Fortnite.
I think they're very happy that they're just getting it. But I think you can buy dances. Like that's a way, because the game is free to play, but the way they get you is
to dance.
wow.
You wanna
paying
buy
for a dance partner.
yeah.
There's always a way.
There's always a way.
Yeah, I pretty much hourly now it's occurring to me. And we're roughly the same age.
Yeah, I think we're in the ballpark.
And in so many ways, I'm cresting that hill into what I remember older men to be like.
Yeah.
And it's very confusing, isn't it? Because a lot of times I'm like, oh, the world's changing for the worse on some given topic. And then I go, no, this is probably just what the world changing feels like, no matter what generation you're in, right?
Yes. The world is no longer aiming for your approval.
Right.
So the world is just we are now not that interesting to the world at large.
No. And you and I have spent a great deal of time trying to accomplish some things and achieve a kind of living. And now we're in preservation mode almost. We're like, oh, wait, that was the dream and I got it. Now let's just keep everything cool so I can enjoy this for a minute.
Yeah, you're right. It's absolutely transitioned from the chase to the maintaining the lead. We are a
dangerous place.
Yeah, we're a football team playing prevent defense, which is a very dangerous place to be.
It is. But Letterman's show, which I got so excited to watch on Netflix, it comes out. It's clearly a great show. It's a great show. But he and his guests are in reflection preservation mode, as they should be at their age.
Right.
Like to watch he and Obama kind of just preserve all this amazing with good reason. They've done such a great job.
Yeah.
They want to protect it. But I fell in love with the Letterman who was building the thing.
Yeah.
And breaking the rules and being dangerous.
There was a great Letterman book that came out a couple years ago, and you just realize that the breakneck pace of being also so inventive is an impossible thing to maintain.
It's unsustainable.
Yeah.
And you listen to Stern, yeah?
Not with any regularity, but a huge fan when I do.
And have you heard Letterman on Stern?
Yeah.
He seems to have this great awareness once he had a kid that he probably spent too much time focusing on that show.
Sure.
And I would imagine it's nearly impossible to avoid that trap. You work a shitload, right? Like you and I are friendly. Mm-hmm. I happen to be friends with Kimmel where I actually know what his life looks like.
Yeah.
And I know it's an incredibly hard job.
It is, I will say, a huge benefit to my career was that the job I had before it was arguably harder.
Yes.
Even though it was half the weeks, it's a 20-week job SNL versus this 40-week job. It's amazing the difference of doing working on Saturday, like how much worse that makes your life.
Yeah.
When you only have one day off and your job ended at 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. So
that's the element people don't recognize either. There's a 12-hour celebration that follows the show.
And it's the reward for this terrible thing you put yourself to. So it's even though people would say, well, why don't you just one of those weeks just not go to the party? That seems no one can wrap their head around that. Or certainly I could never wrap my head around that. I'm sure there are people who are healthier than I am that did go home every now and then. But the other thing about this job versus that job was every day here at least is the same in that you come in at the same time, the meetings happen at the same time, the show tapes at the same time. And so your body gets used to it, which is the other bad side of SNL is every night is different. You know, there are nights that are all-nighters and there are days you have to get in super early for a pre-tape.
Right.
And so you never, your internal biology never fully adjusts
And
to
you
it.
can't schedule.
Right. You just never know how it's going to go.
Stake out, put a flag and a date for a doctor's appointment. You
No.
probably didn't go to the doctor's for, how long were you at SNL?
I was there for 12 and a half years.
You were?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I
That's
think it
longer
was
than I
second all-time at the time. Keenan has since
passed
knocked
you.
me down a notch. But I'm still, I mean, I think that show's going to have to be on a long time for me to fall out of the top 10.
Yeah, you're like Akeem or Abdul-Jabbar. He
Yeah.
Anytime someone's circling like a lifetime points thing, he comes back up on the board.
Right.
I didn't even say his name right.
Kareem.
Abdul-Jabbar.
He's probably listening.
Jesus, I was about to say Hakeem Olajuwon, who's also up there too.
He's probably both out there. And both of them deserve, for their accomplishments, to have their names set at least closer.
So by comparison, this is manageable to you.
Yeah. The other thing is, I think it's helpful for someone like me to hear Letterman say stuff like that. And, you know, one of my huge fears coming into doing this show was that there were, you know, we already knew a lot from books about this stuff and from, you know, the Bill Carter books and from TV movies. Like, these jobs chewed people up. And so the main thing I came into it was trying very hard not to let that happen and trying to manage the show in a way that, look, it's hard and there are very few days that I would categorize as easy, but like life happiness is still a main goal for us.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, when I had gone from doing movies for several years, and then I got on Parenthood, and I was on that for 6 years. And to your point, I loved that I went to the same place every day.
Yeah.
I could predict my life a little bit. I wasn't out of town. I could make a doctor's appointment, and that part was really nice.
And, you know, it was a good project. Like, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
You know,
I care less and less about that now, but
right.
Yeah.
But, you know, it speaks to how lucky you can be in this job. Like, this is a consistent gig that I also like. I mean, certainly we've seen people, or you can tell there are people who are maybe on wildly successful shows, but are miserable. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems to almost be equal to the amount that are happy, which is more a condition of people who pursue this in the first place, right?
Yeah, and just the idea that any success, you feel this whole business and certainly people who represent you make you think that every success is therefore leading you to another success. And no one ever says, hey, this might be the success.
100%. Yeah, like I was just talking to Jason Biggs, and it's like he had American Pie, and he did 4 of them, and for a minute he was resentful about it. But then you must remind yourself also, like, 99.9% of people don't even get an American Pie. Like, that in itself is lightning. And to be frustrated that the lightning didn't strike over and over again, it's really odds-wise.
And then I think it's interesting, especially with something like American Pie, you realize, that is just going to keep coming around for him as a thing.
For life.
You do something. Like, obviously this is not the night this podcast is going to be released, but Ron Livingston's on the show tonight.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, just going through the research, you realize, like, Office Space is something that, you know, the rest of his life, you know, it's going to be a thing that he gets to represent.
Yeah. Now, something I didn't realize till I was reading about you, is people don't read about their friends. I would have never been inclined to had I not done this show. But you lived in Michigan for 8 years or something.
Not quite that long, but a while.
4 to 10, is that right?
4 to 10, yeah. Okemos, Michigan.
You went to elementary school there?
Yeah, Edgewood Elementary.
So I feel like maybe we have similar experiences with blue collar, playground violence.
There was some playground violence. I don't recall it as being particularly traumatic.
Okay,
I
that's
just
good.
went, my mom was going to grad school at Michigan State, and I did, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, I did something at Michigan State, and it was the first, I drove by my old house, which I hadn't driven by. I hadn't been there for 31 years, I think. And it was incredibly surreal, mostly just how, the scale of it was so much smaller. In my head, we had this football size field next to our house.
Oh,
and then you go and it's just a corridor.
7,000 square foot lot.
Just nothing.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
The one that blew my mind was Larry LeClaire was my 7th grade English teacher, and he was most certainly 6'7". There's no question about it. He was 6'7". He was also the coach of our basketball team. 15 years ago, I was at home, back in Michigan. I'm in the grocery store. I'm like, God, that guy looks so much like Larry LeClaire, but it cannot be Larry LeClaire because I'm taller than him. And I really stared at him for like 5 minutes before I was like, oh no, he just wasn't 6'7".
Yeah.
You're now taller than Larry LeClaire. It's freaky. And then you moved to New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And what's the beautiful lake there that on Golden Pond was shot at?
Winnipesaukee.
Winnipesaukee.
Yeah.
Were you close to that at all?
No, we were like 2.5 hours away, but I feel like everyone knew at least 1 or 2 people who had a lake house up there.
Yeah, we one time went on vacation there because there's also a huge motorcycle race in New Hampshire every year. It's one of the bike weeks. Laconia?
Yeah, and it's I've been up in the lakes region when that happens, and it's really
It's terrifying, right?
It changes the state.
Sure. Well, when I went as a kid, my stepdad raced motorcycles, and when we parked the van and we're walking across this huge parking lot, and the Hells Angels blew up a Honda Civic. I mean, they literally blew it up like in a fucking 80s movie about Beirut, and there was just a huge mushroom cloud, and I was 8, and with my mom holding her hand, I'm like, are we going to die in this motorcycle race? It's pretty intense.
It's really, there are a lot of elements about New Hampshire because I feel because of stuff like on Golden Pond, and you just assume there's sort of this pastoral New England quality to it.
Idyllic, yeah.
But there's some real, I don't want to say dirtbaggy, although they did blow up a Civic. So
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like with that piece of information, but
There's some backwoodsness to it, I
there's
guess.
some
is the way it is.
backwoodsness. It was certainly, it's become a little bit more of a swing state, but it was a very red state when I was growing up. And also, the beaches in New Hampshire are like Atlantic City. It's very Jersey Shorey. It's
Sure.
It's not what I think.
It's not Mar-a-Lago.
No.
Yeah.
It's
That's the 4th thing I've tried to pronounce unsuccessfully. So I'm going to now back off my syllables, and I'm going to just keep it
give
real,
it a little,
real simple going forward. So you end up going to college at Northwestern.
Yeah.
Which is very impressive to me because you went right out of high school.
Yeah.
You got to have really great grades to get in out of high school, don't you?
Tested very well. I did have very good tests. I think I had pretty good essays. I was a good, not great student.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of strata were you living in high school? If you had to,
I was kind of a. I covered a lot of stratas. Like
Okay.
I was. I definitely had a lot of friends who were comic book friends who, I think, you would say stereotypically nerdier endeavors.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also, I was popular enough that I was a class treasurer. I ran for office and won. I will say I was the one who did,
that's not the one everyone's raising their hand for, right? Keeping the books.
I knew who the most popular guys were, and they were kind of like already lined up for president and vice president. But I was like, I gave like my election speech was mostly just quoting SNL sketches that were popular at the time. Like I got into it that way.
So you loved comedy always.
Yeah, my parents were huge comedy fans, and sort of did that. Really, looking back, that incredibly kind thing of introducing it to you at a time that was not age appropriate, that helps you develop a far senser, I feel, just taste and appreciation for it than most of the people my age. I mean, I think in the end, like that was, if there was a group of friends that I was most drawn to, it was the people who also thought things like Monty Python were funny.
Right.
In an era when people didn't.
I could see you running cross country weirdly.
I did run cross
Did you
country.
really?
I did.
I promise you that was just a guess. I don't think that's on your Wikipedia page.
ran track was the only sport at my school that didn't cut you. So
okay.
It kind of was, if you cared enough to be on a sports team but had no skill, you could run. So I ran cross country, winter track, and spring track.
But you also have the temperament for a long distance runner. You're kind of a plodder, aren't you?
I would say I am a plotter.
Yeah. I mean, the 12 years at SNL is kind of a testament to that plodding.
I think that sometimes one of the, I have to remind myself I'm a plotter because sometimes when you're surrounded by sprinters.
Yes. Well, never has there been a stable of sprinters like SNL. It's like
Of
people
course.
you meet and 1 year later they're making $20 million. Or fucking Eddie Murphy doing on his...
Sure.
The biggest still R-rated comedy in the history of cinema on a hiatus from SNL, right?
Yeah,
Beverly Hills Cop?
For me, it was, I remember Sandberg showed up and, just put it like, hey, man, let me show you the ropes. And being that sort of guy who was the pro helping out the rookie.
Yeah.
And then the Christmas show of Sandberg's first year was Lazy Sunday. And they were on the cover on the New York Times.
Yeah.
And I had this real, we all have different paces here. And, I've said this before, but one of my big regrets looking back at some of my worst years of the show were that I had a sadness that came from comparing myself to other people and people that I really liked and were good to me. And that, so there's a time where I just look back at my own an ugliness of myself that I'm still a little embarrassed by.
Well, it's baked into because I was in the Groundlings. And it's unavoidable that there is a finite amount of real estate in the show. There's going to be 13 sketches and there's 15 of you writing, and that's just the unavoidable facts.
Yeah.
And they are your best friends. You're spending all your time with them writing. Uh-huh. And then ultimately they're going to take one of those really valuable slots.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's guys who play professional sports have that to some degree. There's only so many minutes to go around. The one thing that happened to me, and this is also that I want to make clear, it wasn't like I had this incredible moment of, I need to be better. I have to, I have to be kinder and more giving. When I got Weekend Update, then all of a sudden I was a guy who got 10 minutes every week.
Yeah.
And that
guaranteed.
and then it was that thing of, that it took something that nice happening for me to realize like, I've been a real dickhead. And I did try to redouble my efforts as head writer to try to help everybody else, get their stuff on. But it was, that was the greatest part about doing Update. That was the best life at SNL because you just had your time.
You knew no matter what, you were going to be in that.
Exactly. Yeah. And it wasn't like it ever went so bad at Dress that they were like, we're not going to do Update.
Yeah, right.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare. We are supported by Auto Trader. All right, if you've been putting off car shopping because it sounds like a whole thing, buying your car online on Auto Trader makes it way easier, really. You can shop tons of cars online, compare prices, check financing and trade-in options, all from wherever you are. And if you want to start online and go to the dealership for a test drive, you can do that too, really. What I like is the flexibility. Start online, finish at the dealer, or the other way around. Your info stays with you, so you're not starting the process from scratch. Plus, you're working with local dealer listings, so you've got real people helping behind the scenes. And when you're ready, you can pick up your car or have it delivered. Really. Buy your car online on Auto Trader. Really. This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app where you can bank, borrow, and invest all in one place.
Let's talk bank accounts for a second. The average bank savings rate is 0.39% in interest. You're earning pennies on your savings, but it does not have to be that way.
With SoFi High Yield Checking and Savings, the money barely making moves sitting in your savings account can earn over 8 times the national average savings rate with eligible direct deposit.
No account or overdraft fees, which feels rare these days. You can get your paycheck up to 2 days early, perfect for getting ahead of a bill or grabbing what you need right when you need it.
Plus, get up to a $300 welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up for SoFi Checking and Savings at SoFi.com/armchair. SoFi Checking and Savings is offered through SoFi Bank N.A., member FDIC. Terms apply.
Confidence. It's listening to your gut. It's moving forward even when the path ahead is unclear. For nearly 160 years, Pacific Life has helped people keep their promises, building confidence for generations. Whether you're confident in your financial future or just beginning to envision it, we're here to help. Ask a financial professional how. Pacific Life, the power of a promise. Pacific Life Insurance Company, Omaha, Nebraska. And in New York, Pacific Life and Annuity, Phoenix, Arizona.
So I had Ike on, as you brought up before we started recording, who, by the way, just...
Our roof fell off.
Yes, it'd be hard to say that there was a better guest than him, and we don't know each other at all.
You really? Do you not know?
Met him in my driveway.
Oh.
He walked in, and I just was like, oh, I think I could marry you.
Yeah. I mean, again, I've known him for a long time. He is one of the most instantly charismatic people. And is like the real deal, no hyperbole. He's a friend to all.
You can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have good spidey senses at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's so genuine. But of course, Boom Chicago came out.
Yeah.
And of course, I was just fascinated with the notion of living in Amsterdam
What
for
a
2
life.
years
It
in
was
your
the
20s. And I said to him, my assumption is you had to work 90 minutes a night, right? And then the rest of your time was pretty much yours. How long did you do Boom Chicago?
I did it for 2 years.
Right out of Northwestern?
Pretty much. I think I'd done about a year kicking around doing improv stuff in Chicago, but maybe even less. It might have been about 10 months after college that I went over there.
And you went specifically to go join that?
Yeah, auditioned for it with my friend Pete Gross, who is one of the Sonic guys. You know those two Sonic guys?
Monica.
Sonic Drive.
I sure do.
And he's also...
Oh, yes.
And he was
I
my
thought you were
roommate.
talking about a fucking band, to be honest. I'm like, of course, there's a fucking electronic group named Sonic that I don't know
But
about.
he also was a writer here, wrote for Colbert Report, and he's a really funny guy. And we were college roommates, and he basically said one day, hey, there's this audition for this show that takes place in Amsterdam. And so we auditioned, and it was the best. I'd never been out of the country. I had to get a passport for the job, and it was the best.
Aren't you so glad you had that before you got on the conveyor belt that led to here?
I mean, when I think back to the two, I was in my 20s when I started on SNL, and you would think that would be the best time in your life. But those 2 years right out of college where I lived in Amsterdam and worked full time as an improviser, and there wasn't that, the pressure you had then is you knew you weren't in the place you were going to be. Like I knew I wanted to come back to the States.
Yes.
But I will say my best years, after I left, I would come back every now and then and direct shows or just go back and hang out. And that's when Ike was there. That's when my brother were there. They were roommates. And it was because Ike and I did not overlap. He was actually one of the group that came to replace my group that left. But being in Amsterdam with Ike was just as you could imagine.
And I'm going to theorize some stuff. Again, I don't know you all that well, but I have a lot of assumptions about you. I'm sure
good.
half of them are wrong, but here's one of my...
You nailed track, so.
I really did. I should quit there. But I have a sense that you're pretty type A. I think you have to have a pretty type A drive to be a head writer of anything. It's just such a grind.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that it's a little bit liberating to be in a place like Amsterdam where there's really nothing else for you to explore. Like if you had been doing that show, Boom Chicago, in LA, you would do the show and then you, knowing your temperament, would probably be like, oh, now I got to fill up this other time with productive shit.
Yep.
And that environment probably forced you in some way. Like, what the fuck were you going to do? Get a secondary job in Amsterdam?
And there was nothing else going on. There was no auditions. There was nothing.
Yes.
There was no need for American comedians for any other job other than the one I had.
Yeah, so you're like, okay, I'm doing the one thing I need to do.
Yep.
And did you have fun like Ike?
I don't think anybody had fun like Ike, nor do I think anybody has the biology for that to be safe.
It sounds like Ike and I were very similar, actually. Yeah.
And
real high constitution for...
Yes. I had a good... I thought mine was really... My constitution was really good, and then you meet Ike, and that's... But, I did stuff there that I'd never done before that I haven't done since, that I enjoyed a great deal.
Sure.
And then there was that other great thing of because... It was this other place. It was very easy not to bring it back with me.
Yes.
If that, because all of a sudden, things you could do there, the people you met were a lot less creepy than you would meet if you had to do it here.
Yes.
Again, a different time. Like, I think things have changed, but, I came back in 99 and it was...
Yeah, but your average person there is doing ecstasy once in a while or doing...
professional people.
Yes.
And it was to go dancing with friends.
Yes,
it wasn't,
to live your best self.
It wasn't like going out with a bunch of guys to be on the make. It was like going out with all your colleagues, and it was like guys and girls and just having like these really fun late nights that ended up going to some weird breakfast place and buying hot rolls and then going on someone's boat. And just
as a father too, I would.
Well, we just Ike. You talked to Ike after we got back from the 25th, right?
Presumably, we just talked to him like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. So in June we went back for the 25th anniversary.
Oh, you did,
and that was because you just realized, this is never going to happen again. Because the only way it could happen was we all got to say to our spouses, "It's the 25th." And because I couldn't say, "Hey, I miss Amsterdam. Ike and me and my brother and a couple other people are going to go back for 3 days."
Right. Yeah.
Because it was
Alexia
something
like,
serious.
Yeah, I miss a lot of shit too.
Yeah.
We all do, man. That's.
She wasn't psyched about this one either, but she understood I couldn't miss it.
Right. And did you get a little taste of what it was like, or was it?
It was
hard now with all these.
It was hard. I mean, the hardest thing for me, to be honest, I would love to say like that's not me anymore. I was really the burden of knowing I had to come back. Yeah. It was like fly. The big crazy night was a Saturday, then fly on a Sunday, and then I had this show on a Monday, and so I just couldn't. I kept thinking about.
Yes.
I don't want to be asleep on my couch and have my staff.
Well, I think we share this in common. I bet you will like this quote as much if you don't already know it. But Lawrence Kasdan's famous quote is, "Writers who are people who have agreed to do homework the rest of their lives." And there's no truer sentence for me. Like Kristen and I will be on vacation, and she's really footloose and fancy free.
Yeah.
And then I'm just thinking like, I got to turn in that fucking rewrite. I got to turn it. Like there's always some goddamn fucking writing task.
It's
not to lament about my great fortune, but it's drag.
True.
You can't.
And the other thing that's is a lesser drag, because I don't want to put the thing we signed up for on anybody else, but it's also an impossible thing to explain to people who also are requiring your time, meaning a spouse. There are times where I'll say to Alexia, "I have to finish this script." And then she'll say something like, "How much time do you think it'll take?" And you want to say, I'm not being coy. I'm not.
Who knows?
I don't know.
8 minutes or 3 hours.
The other problem is, it was very kind of you to call me an alpha earlier. I do not feel like an alpha around my wife, Alexia, because she's such a super alpha. She has rendered me a very content beta. But
me too.
Like she says things to me like, "Hey, so we have... you have 45 minutes now." And I want to say, I can't. Like just opening up the computer.
Yeah.
Like I can't just like hit the ground running. That's like how you blow your Achilles. Like right.
Yes, you gotta look at some shit online and then tell yourself you're not allowed to do that. And do you have a routine?
I mean, the nice thing about writing here is it's kind of procrastinator proof because we're sort of chasing each day.
Yes.
And so the nice thing now with this, specifically with this show, I can go on vacation and I don't think about this.
Oh, that's great.
And the only other stuff writing-wise that I'm doing now is that show I do with Bill Hader and Fred Armisen documentary now.
Yes.
So,
which, by the way, just to digress into that for a second, it makes me so happy you guys have that show.
It's
for
insane.
You guys.
Yeah.
It makes me just delighted that it's the kind of thing you would just always talk about with your friends and then have an opportunity to do it and then do it. It's something.
Yeah, it's like we all bought a house together or a tree house. It's like we as adults were like, let's build a really nice tree house.
Yeah.
Because it is not.
It's so pointless in the best way possible.
So pointless. The ratings are not, they're non-existent.
They're not there.
It is, people come to this show every night and they are fans of mine. 200 people who are fans of mine.
They've traveled to see you.
And every now and then, I will mention it during an audience Q&A and 5 people will clap. And that is, if it was more than 5, I'd know they were lying.
Right.
But it is, but that's something so every now and then I'm working on one of those. And I was working on one of those like 2 weeks after our second kid was born. And Alexia was so tired and so, she's very supportive of my career and every aspect of it. And she had a real case to be made that was a bad time for me to be.
Yeah, exploring this project.
Drinking Red Bulls and staying up till 5 a.m. trying to crack a tape on a documentary.
Well, that's what I like about it is that I'm so goal-oriented, and I imagine you're very goal-oriented.
Yeah.
To make a decision to do something that has really no real purpose is a good exercise, I would imagine. It is a way to force you to remember that you like doing it.
Yeah, I think the other thing is this show is so temporal in that I don't think like we're going to do a show tonight. I think it'll be a really good show. I don't think 5 years from now someone's going to say, "Oh, we should go back and watch that episode."
Right.
You do it, and it's by tomorrow. It has half its value, and by the next day, it has a fifth of its value.
Yes.
And so it's nice to do a ship in a bottle type show that ultimately no one feels the rush to see it as soon as it comes out.
It's timeless enough.
I'm like happy. I'm like, oh, I made this thing that it will hold up because, the source material that we're parodying is already from 1965. Like none of it goes back.
We're still talking about Grey Gardens or whatever the hell the thing is.
So that I think that is also part of it. The ego part of me is like, no, you also just want to make a thing that people will go, oh, I saw that 10 years later and I really liked it.
Sure. Is there a favorite documentary you guys have?
We did one called Juan Likes Rice and Chicken that was based on Hero Dreams of Sushi.
Oh.
And it's we actually went to Colombia to film it. Again, I couldn't go. But Fred, it's a guy who has the only Michelin-starred restaurant that is an hour away from the closest road. And it's great.
And don't you feel like one of the best gifts of this whole thing is to spend time with those people, like forgetting about the product? Like it really helps to learn to enjoy process, doesn't it, when you get to share it with?
Yeah. And the other thing about process that there's a great gift of SNL is not just seeing how people go from the seed of an idea to a finished hit sketch, but watching all these people are capable of hit sketches fail so often. I mean, watching the glorious, you had to see it to believe it, failures of people like Will Forte and Fred Armisen and Andy Samberg on Wednesday, just at the table read. Those are some of the moments I look back at, them. And, and then you learn to forgive yourself your failures because these people that you look up to and have seen do such great work, you realize, oh, at the best, we're hitting 300,
Well, yeah, that's the thing I try to say to folks is that like every week I wrote 6 sketches. I was 100% certain they were all of complete equal comedic value. I liked each of them equally as much. And then some are just fucking clunkers. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's like a weird thing. Like you have this broad sense of humor, right? And really you spend your whole life trying to figure out what of this broad spectrum is appealing to people.
Yeah.
You internally, you don't know. They're all equal, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's nice. I mean, again, this is where, again, I'm really lucky to work with the staff. Like the staff here helps you refine, because then it's not just my own. I realize, I also like doing this thing, but I can't help but notice that of the 12 people in the writing staff, none of them like writing it for me.
Right.
And then you realize, maybe that wasn't as good as I thought it was.
Yeah.
But the other thing about SNL is the truest bounce, that table read on Wednesday, no fake laughs, no polite laughs. I should say Polar, the great table read laugher. Okay. And now I don't know if that just comes from her natural effervescence or if there was a kindness that came from her laughs. But Polar, no one played to silence on Polar's watch, which was one of the great kindnesses that she brought to that place.
Yeah, she's a very generous person.
Very generous person. Yeah.
I've got to act next to her, and was
Baby Mama when you first met, or did you know her before that?
I met her through Will. Doing,
right.
Let's Go to Prison.
Yeah.
And immediately. And then that's basically the first time I ever met you is that Will brought me to SNL and I met you and you were very nice.
Oh, I'm glad.
Kind of open. And I, like, when you're new, you really remember who stops in the hallway and says hi.
So nice to hear.
Yeah. And you're in a group of like 5 folks that were quite generous and nice.
My first memory of you is going, Will and Amy had a place in Venice one summer. It might have been, he might have been living there because he was doing Arrested.
Yeah.
And there was maybe a game night of some sort, and then you had the coolest car I'd ever seen.
Oh, you were there the night of the donuts?
The donuts.
And Richter was there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Andy brings it up all the time.
It was...
it was a CTSV. It was when the CTSV first came out, and it was a stick shift. And the reason... I am a total blowhard. Forget it. I'm a total blowhard. But also... If you remember, Will and I were probably telling you, we did Let's Go to Prison in Bolingbrook, Illinois. It was the boringest place for us to be for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Every single night, Keckner and I would go to Applebee's and eat dinner. And then at the end of dinner, we'd go in the parking lot and I would do donuts for 12 minutes while they just sat there like we were in high school drinking a soda while I did donuts around telephone poles. And just every single night, so frequently that the bartender borrowed his brother-in-law's car and then he did donuts one night. And so I think we might have been telling that at the poker night. And
yes.
Of course, I felt obliged to them perform. And I did donuts in an intersection, I think.
And it's hard for me to. I'm so not one. I'm not a car guy. Two, therefore, don't have any of the skills that one requires to do that. Sure. And it was a real wow. It was like watching somebody. Like if you'd have gone out and done ballet in the street, it would have been as impressive to me.
But there had to be a huge percentage of your brain that was going, "Oh, he's going to throw it away at any second." Do you think I was going to careen into a car? Because
you seem very in control. Also, there was no fear on you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, while you were learning to take tests really well, I was in the parking lot of my high school in a Mustang trying to impress my gearhead friends.
It's a real reminder that Michigan's a big state.
It is.
A lot of different childhoods happening.
I'm really happy that that's something that you think of when you think of me.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of, we talked about this on here, and I'd love to hear any realizations you had. But we all have our identity. And we're often quite wrong about it.
Yeah.
I'm very wrong about it pretty regularly. My wife helps all the time to remind me. Is there any part of you that you've come to recognize that's not...
I don't know that. I had a very interesting thing happen, which is that when I went back to that reunion in Amsterdam, it was really brought to my attention that I used to have a reputation as a real hothead.
Oh, really? A temper?
Yeah, like my early days of being an improviser, I was not a fun partner in scenes.
Okay.
Like my disappointment in bad choices was really evident to people. And then you realize you change the way you behave and you get better at it. And but the people that were there for that, they don't, they haven't been there for the rest of it. They've seen you on camera, but they haven't realized that you got better off camera. Yeah, they're like, oh, he's good, but he's an asshole, and that would be totally fair for them to say.
So were a lot of people going like, oh my God, you've mellowed? Were they trying to find euphemisms to say you're not a prick anymore?
It was not even that. It was like things would happen like I just used to be a hothead about stuff like, when you're with a bunch of improvisers, and sometimes it would just be a group dinner and the waitress would come over with our meals and someone would be telling a story and wouldn't stop. And I'd be the guy who'd be like, hey, we have to tell this person who has all these
Yes.
And so there were a few times where people like that would happen and someone would be like, oh, I should stop because Seth's here. And I had to remember that was a thing that I used to do. And then also remember, 15 years after the fact, people are remembering that. So obviously it was traumatic.
I kind of appreciate, though. I'm that guy, too. I'm like, what are you just going to have this person stand with 8 plates?
I was
who
right.
ordered the
Yeah,
chicken
the waitress
piccata?
appreciates that.
Yeah, no, I think I just could have done it in a more kind way. I think that I should go back. I don't think I was wrong about anything in those days.
Your
I just think I got
delivery.
better about being right.
Okay, good. The lesson you learned is that you were right all along, but that you could have...
You can be a little bit more patient with people.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
And do you think that this kind of drive and this type A-ness and stuff is just your genetics? Or do you think, your dad's in finance, right?
Yeah, but he's a real type A, and he's a real, I would say he really instilled get the most out of your talents kind of situation. Don't let laziness be the thing that doesn't get it for you.
Yeah.
There's plenty of hurdles that are outside of your control, but don't let your own lack of effort be the thing that you'll look back at and lament.
Yeah.
So he was really good that way.
And you needed their approval? Were you?
Yeah. I mean, still.
Yeah, still.
Yeah. I went back in February to New Hampshire to do a couple stand-up gigs for this charity event this charity they're involved with. And I just realized beforehand, why do I feel this tickle?
little
in
knot.
my, and I was like, oh yeah, it's because they're there. Even though they're so supportive, it was still, you want it to be, better than average when they're there.
Yeah. That's pretty fantastic. But is it ever laborious, that whole thing?
It was super hard when I would say the first 2 or 3 years of SNL, just because that was the first thing I was doing that not just were my parents watching it, but, everybody's watching it. And everybody, you can't trick people into thinking that it's good that you were not in the show on any given week.
Right.
And so I think a lot of it was my parents trying to be helpful, but talking about it in a way that was very, I wanted to say to them, oh no, I'm also aware that this is not great. And I'm dealing with it kind of constantly. And so I'd love for us not to also talk about it.
Uh-huh. And you joined as a writer.
I didn't. I joined as a cast member that I then moved into writer.
Oh, so this is, I thought it was the same trajectory as Chevy Chase, but it's actually the polar opposite initially.
I think it's the only, I'm the only
Another
person.
distinction.
Yeah. I started as a cast member but I, due to, I don't want to be hard on myself, but again, like we talked about the other people that were in the cast, like they were great. And was never, well, to this day, I'm not somebody that has a huge range of skills that the great people in the history of SNL have.
Yeah.
So I kind of kept myself alive by writing my first 4 or 5 years. And then when Tina was leaving, Lorne asked if I wanted to, join the writing staff, which was both, I think, a credit to my writing and also him saying, and we will be fine without you in the proper guest.
Uh-huh. And were you able, at the time that you became the head writer, to recognize what rarefied air that is and how unique that is? Or were you so focused on something else that you were...
It's still, I think, the thing and from the day it happened, it was the thing I was proudest of.
Oh, that's great.
It's the title in my life that I think I will be because of that.
I think it should be. It's such, like, the people that I revere. It's really interesting. We were talking the other day about people seem in the general world to know what a director is. And they seem to think that that's like the thing, like Steven Spielberg. And I was kind of trying to explain, like, people don't understand what a showrunner is. A showrunner is the Mike Tyson of the industry. Like, you have to be such a bad motherfucker. Like Mindy Kaling, I don't think people realize what that means.
The good news, I think it's exponentially more known in the last 10 years, right?
Sure.
Because I think no one knew until...
who even became a famous showrunner. But I guess people, because they started being, the showrunners were also in the shows, like in Mindy's case.
And I guess it was, you realized, David Chase doesn't direct The Sopranos.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he's the guy.
Weirdly, yes, that was my first realization.
Yeah.
That that name is why The Sopranos is The Sopranos.
Yeah. He was genuinely just too busy to direct. Like, that's what showrunners are too busy to direct.
That's right. They would love to, but they can't go.
They don't have time.
For a week.
They don't have to go scout a location.
Yeah. But that title of head writer of Saturday Night Live is just, to me, it's the most gangster thing you could.
It's certainly,
there.
and it didn't hurt that, Tina, obviously, who, both a colleague and a hero of mine, was the person who had it before me, and people like McKay and people like Jim Downey. And so it was, again, I should stress that any head writer is a beneficiary of the cast they're doing it for. And I swear by that cast. I think that history will show, and I'm not putting myself in it because, again, I wasn't in the sketches, but that group of people, to be able to write for them. And
you could be Beethoven, but if your orchestra was made up of kazoos and fucking cardboard boxes, how good's it going to sound?
So that was, and it was just a really cool and exciting time to work there.
Now, what things make you nervous? Because I saw you, one of the first times I had like genuine anxiety for you and then saw you crush was the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Yeah.
Like, I saw you get on stage and I was just like, man, I'd be really nervous to do this. Were you nervous?
Yeah, I'm not. It's the most I ever felt as though I was sweating through a tuxedo, where you could feel the actual tuxedo fabric getting heavier over the course of the 20 minutes.
Sure.
But we had really good jokes. Do you know Neil Brennan?
Yes, I do.
So Neil Brennan was with me that afternoon, and I had a really good group of people with me that afternoon. And we had worked on the script for 3 weeks, and
okay.
I was in a hotel room in D.C. with Brennan, with John Mulaney, with Alex Bays, who's my head writer here, with Mike Shoemaker, who's my producer here. And when we were done reading it through, and again, it was not, it wasn't fun. But Neil said, I'm jealous that you get to go tell these jokes now.
Oh,
and I just remember
really?
thinking, that's what a nice thing to say, because that was a reminder of, because I think we all think about worst case scenario. And until Neil said that, I realized, there's also a best case scenario, and that these are great jokes and they'll be fun to say.
One of my favorite things I've ever watched comedically.
Thanks, man.
The fucking jokes were so good. What's the Lou Gossett one?
Yeah. It was about how bad
Yeah.
Obama looked after being president for 3 years. And it was you started looking like the Old Spice guy, and now you look like Louis Gossett Sr.
It was the senior that was so next level. Because certainly someone said Lou Gossett Jr. to start with.
Yeah, although
Maybe not.
I think it might have been Mulaney, who is the kind of person that would get Louis Gossett Sr. immediately.
On the first swing. And then how about Golden Globes?
That was the most in line with the level of nerves I felt for the Correspondents' Dinner. I would say between the two, nothing had made me feel that nervous.
Yeah.
Also, the Correspondents' Dinner, the downside is you walk out and it's a terrible room. It's the worst room, and so anything you get, you think I'm doing pretty good. I'd been in the Globes room for Amy and Tina's 3 times, and so I knew you could crush.
They were uniquely great at hosting.
When we were sitting down to write, I was like, I'm going to watch their monologues. And I watched 30 seconds of one and said, I'm not going to put myself through this because it won't be that, and so I'm not going to.
No, you guys, you deal in different merchandise entirely. It's like there's especially the symmetry between them.
They're finishing each other's sentences, and we.
You're just reminded watching it like, I'll be solo.
Oh, yeah.
That was the beauty of sketch comedy to me. Like, I wanted to do stand-up, but I was too afraid.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't, if you bomb with someone else, there's a certain joy in having shared that
experience. You talk about it forever.
You get more giddy off of that, don't you?
We talked about, when we were back in Amsterdam for our reunion, none of us were talking about good shows. Because we also, I don't know if Ike mentioned, but we did a lot of corporate theater.
He did say that.
And so, but that was what we were laughing about, because it was collective. It wasn't, I went and bombed at this place. It was, I went and Ike and I bombed at this place. So.
Yeah, it's a real bonding experience. It's like being siblings in a childhood with trauma.
Yeah,
like you're extra close.
Absolutely. Yeah. So going out alone, and then the other thing about the Globes was just, not to mention the fact that the lights are on. It's not like going out in a theater to do stand up where the lights are dark. The lights are on, and the people are very famous.
Yeah.
And so you just have to make this decision to sort of look over the tops of the heads of the Tom Hankses and the Oprahs, as opposed to really drilling down on eye contact.
Funny you'd say that. I've done very little hosting, but I hosted the TCAs one year. And I'm in the middle of telling some jokes, and I hear, great joke. Like, not laughing, actually saying out loud, great joke. And it was Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Which I just heard a guy saying great jokes. And then when I got off stage, Kristen was like, what about Tom Hanks? And saying great jokes during that. I was like, oh my God, that was him? I probably would have stopped and stared at him.
I like that even Tom Hanks knows that he's a person who has every right and just carte blanche to positively heckle.
Yeah, 100%.
The positive heckles of Tom Hanks.
Yes. Yeah. He's so likable. He could totally get away with it.
Yeah.
But just a generous, nice human being.
He really is.
You know what before you go, first of all, I love doing your show. I've done it twice now.
Thank you. You're such a good talk. Do you know you're a great talk show host? This is actually a question I want to ask more people. Like, are you aware that you bring the goods?
I think I'm a good guest.
Yeah.
I do a lot of them. You know, like I generally, like if someone cancels, and I live in LA and I'm friends with most of those guys, they'll call me. So that to me seems like a good indicator that I'm a little dependable. The thing I wrestle with is there's a very fine line between being a good guest and just steamrolling. It's very hard to navigate. And I sometimes leave going,
Yeah, I have to be honest. I would never think of a guest who is working as having steamrolled.
Okay, I
get to talk the whole night. When there's, and one of the things about doing the show is just realizing how there's different kinds of guests and just making sure some people need you to hold their hand, and that's fun for me too. And then other people. But it is, I'm not just saying this, there's the other thing and what makes, I think, my favorite kind of talk show host is guest. The audience is immediately comfortable. Like, they're not worried about
Oh, that's
you.
nice.
They're like, oh, this person knows what he's here to do, and that's a great feeling.
I only have a couple strengths. One of them is I'm mildly comfortable in my own skin, which I remember Amy telling me with Lauren. Lauren seemed to really like me for some reason on Baby Mom, and I couldn't figure it out because my dream in life was to be on Saturday Night Live, and I never was, and whatever. I have all this baggage. But he was really nice to me, and I said, I don't know why Lauren, and Amy goes, oh, he likes people who are comfortable in their own skin. It's
really
a very
does.
foreign kind of thing that he can recognize.
Also, what Lauren doesn't appreciate is that even people who are comfortable in their own skin tend to not be once they meet Lauren. He makes you question your skin.
Yes.
And and it's a lot of people who were until the day they started there, and then he sets up this world where every day, at the end of the day, you like look at your skin and you're like, I feel like this is you could be better. And so for the people that can get through Lauren and can still be comfortable in their own skin, I think are few and far between.
Yeah. So the only thing I wanted to ask you before you left is, has having kids, did the magic thing happen to you, or it's like the whole big thing shrunk as far as like the priorities and the desire for all the personal stuff? Did it kind of finally get
you all of a sudden
proportional?
Someone else's future is more exciting than your own.
Isn't that liberating?
Yeah.
It was something I was so afraid to let go.
Yeah.
And ever since it happened, I'm like, oh, right.
Yeah.
Maybe this thing will go well or it won't. And I guess who gives a shit as long as...
Well, it's also, look, being a parent is hard, but it's, if you just do the right stuff, you get so much out of it. Like there are days where I feel like I put in 100% in the show and I don't get 100% back. But I feel like with your kids, at least up to this point, I really do feel like it comes back exponentially.
Yeah.
And where my son Ash is doing this thing now where I just kneel down at the door when I leave and he gives me a running hug and he goes as far away and runs. And now he's decided to add a running kiss. So you get a running hug and then he says, now running kiss, and he runs all the way away. And I just like... It's a very strange thing to know because they're asleep when I get home from the show. So that's the last time I see them until tomorrow morning. And it's this weird thing to know. I'm going to go off. I'm going to, I have my dream job. I work with these people I love. We're going to do a show for a great audience. I can't wait to do that. But I've already peaked. Today is peaked.
Yes.
Because I got my running hug and my running kiss. And now it's just like this really lovely denouement until tomorrow's hug and kiss.
It's all gravy after that.
Yeah.
I would imagine, especially when he's resetting.
Oh, it's great.
And you get to watch.
Well, he also goes around a corner, and then it's like, takes way too long. And I'm like, how far away are you going? Are you going multiple rooms away?
That's so fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very happy for you. The last compliment I want to give you before you go is I kind of hold you in this regard that I really look up to Conan for, is there are certain people that I have so much admiration for just hard fucking work. Like, you're such a product of hard work. I hope you're able to own all these accomplishments because you busted your ass and it's very obvious and it's very impressive.
Thank you. That's incredibly kind of you to say. I was really lucky to be surrounded by people who are helpful. But I'm really happy.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks,
you're
buddy.
Lovely. Bye. And now my favorite part of the show, the fact check with my soulmate, Monica Padman. Welcome to the fact check with Monica Padman
And Dax.
Shepard.
Yeah.
Okay, what did we have?
Okay. I'm sorry, guys, for the no song, but he just didn't have it today. Sometimes you don't
We're
have
under a time crunch. No one wants to know that. That's a two behind the curtain, but we're in a bit of a time crunch. And, I'd like to dedicate 5 to 10 minutes to either coming up with a poem or a song. And I don't have that time right now.
There's no time. There's not enough time.
I got to fly to see my mommy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go see my sweet mommy up in Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon, as we'd say in Michigan.
Say Oregon.
What if we said Michigan? Ooh, that sounds like a word. Michigosh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Michigan.
something.
I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
No, I don't like it. Okay.
I'll stop right now.
I don't have to stop. I'm just saying I don't like it.
Yeah. Oh, can I point out a fun fact?
Yeah.
And this is very rare for you to say when we leave someplace, but you were oh no, I got that wrong.
What?
You weren't intimidated by Seth.
I wasn't intimidated by Seth. He was very
gracious.
Yeah, he was not scary.
Very approachable.
Most people are not. Most people end up not being intimidating at all, but every now and then there is a human that we encounter that is.
That spikes your adrenaline.
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with their celebrity, obviously, because all these people are celebrities. If it was just that, everyone would be intimidating, but it's not. It is their personalities.
Don't you think it's also compounded by like the specific person, how much you'd want that person's approval?
I mean, you'd think yes, but there are other people. Like, I'd love Seth's approval.
Yeah.
I didn't get it, but I would have loved it. And
I don't know that you didn't get it.
well, I do, but might be a factor, but I don't think it's the factor.
Oh, okay. Great.
I think it's
How they carry themselves.
yeah, personalities. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Very scary pop outs. Personality pop outs.
Personality pop-outs.
Okay, how many episodes have we done? This is the 46th episode of Armchair Expert, but we've recorded upwards of 59.
Yeah. Upwards of, I don't think you can say upwards and then an exact
Well,
number.
I wanted to be more specific in the middle of my sentence.
How about this? In 3 hours from now, we'll have done 60.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fun.
that's true.
That's a fun fact.
Okay, the dance move where you move your hands one way, your arms one way, and you swing your hips through, that's called either flossing
Okay.
or the backpack dance.
Oh, not the Dougie.
No, that's a different dance.
Can you Dougie? Is that how it went?
teach me how to Dougie?
Teach me how to Dougie.
Yeah.
Can you Dougie? I'm not sure what Dougieing is.
I think so. Now I forget. No, I'm thinking of the stanky leg.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, somebody farted up in here. Ooh. Stanky.
I kind of forget it, but I think I could do it at one point. I can do all of those dances.
I'm
I
sure.
can't. I really can't.
I can jump through my leg. Do you know that? Like Kid and Play.
Really?
Yeah. The best part is I occasionally say this to somebody, and it's always been 5 or 6 years since I've tried it.
Yeah, I'm
But
about to ask you to
I can
do
do
it.
I'm going to do it.
Okay, let me see it.
With zero practice in 5
Oh my
years.
God, you guys, this is about to happen. Oh wow. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm so scared. Whoa, you did it. Wow.
That's not super easy. And I used to be able to do it mid-dance.
It did not look easy, and you did do it.
I did do it. You're not very impressed.
No, I am.
Okay, mix of impressed and embarrassed for me?
No.
Okay.
No.
But that was
I
part of
loved
the
it.
Kid and Play dance, which I could do the whole thing.
Well, I want to see that too.
Well, I need a partner because that's where you go at each other and you kick your heel out and you both snap.
Oh.
You high five your feet and then you go back and then you spin and then you jump through your leg.
Oh my God.
Yes, great
That
dance
is
routine.
Fun. I love a dance routine.
Yeah, and the song that was playing, I think, was Rollin', Rollin', Roll with Kid and Play.
Oh.
Yeah. They had a whole movie.
I'm very impressed by that move.
Oh, thank you.
It was, yeah. That was,
If Ryan doing a backflip is a 10, which I think for me is a 10, what is this, a 6?
see, not to take anything away from Ryan Hansen, but I've seen a lot of flips in my life. I could at one point do that.
Right, so you're less impressed.
I'm less impressed.
You know what makes Ryan's impressive is like he too won't have done one for a very
I
long
know.
time, and then he'll be drunk. And like the first time I ever saw him do it, we were in line at Cirque du Soleil in Las Vegas. He was drunk and he had about 1.5 feet to pull this thing off because we were in a line
Yeah.
on a marble floor. And he just jumped up and ripped a fucking backflip. And I got hard as a rock.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I love it.
I am very impressed by his ability to do it at any moment.
Yes.
He just does them randomly a lot.
That's right.
And you're right, it is very impressive, but the skill itself is less impressive to me just because I'm more used to it. I've never seen someone jump through their leg in my life.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was a first.
Wow. I didn't think I'd ever do something you had never seen.
Yeah.
Wow.
In
this
person?
Is
Yeah.
a great day. Maybe we'll have to film this and post it on Instagram
You also did it in a very nice new sweatshirt.
that I picked up on our Toronto live show. I
Yes.
fucking love it.
He loves this sweatshirt. It has a big, nice, robust maple leaf on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it says Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, I brought up a little ethical conundrum here because I was like, you're going to buy this?
I'm glad you're bringing this up.
Yeah. It's like, you're going to buy this? What about Detroit? Aren't you a Detroit fan?
Red Wings.
Yeah.
I bleed Red Wings.
Well, okay.
And you asked me about that, and
Yep.
here's what I said. I reject, okay? It's my favorite word. I reject like car lovers who are like, I'm fucking Mopar. Chevy sucks. Ford sucks. Or I'm a Chevy guy. Ford sucks. I'm like, oh, really? The 70 Mach 1 sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's crap. You can like a lot of things. I don't think you need to get all tribal with things that are great. Look, there's a bunch of great Mopars. There's a bunch of great Fords, a bunch of great Chevys, tons of great Ferraris.
Lots of great women.
And guess what? A ton of great women, more great women than any other thing. But the Maple Leafs fucking rule. They're the second most winning Stanley Cup team out there behind the Montreal Canadiens.
Their mascot is the Canadians.
The Montreal Canadiens. Watch your tone. We have a lot of Canadian
I
listeners.
love Canadians, but I don't.
You wouldn't.
I'm
you
not
wouldn't
into the mascots of Canada. I have to be honest. The Maple Leafs
I
and the
am.
Canadians.
I am. This is the coolest logo. I saw it while we were walking through the airport, and I immediately was pulled to it.
Well, it's a beautiful leaf, sure.
It's fucking gorgeous in the white on blue.
It's not a very, speaking of intimidating, it's not a very intimidating
It wouldn't be like
mascot.
as intimidating as the Toronto Persians would be.
It would
from
not
the Persian
be.
Empire.
It would not be.
Right.
It would be like saying the Wisconsin Americans. You see how that's strange?
You and Kristen would really bump up against that.
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, it's another side note about Toronto. No one asked. Maybe the most multicultural city I've ever walked around.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah. It was, very diverse.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was
I was
really
a
great.
fucking minority most of the time.
Well, I don't know about
hold
that,
on.
but not
In
sure
numbers.
about that.
I don't know about power structure, but in numbers I was.
Anywho, okay. Back to dancing.
Yeah.
Fortnite, that game.
Mm-hmm.
Seth is right. Yeah, you buy dances because I guess the players have the ability to use different dances to taunt other people after they win a battle. And you can customize it and customize these avatars. But Epic Games, who is Fortnite, I guess, makes Fortnite, has earned over $1 billion in sales from Fortnite since its launch in September of last year. And it's free to play. So that means that it's coming from things like these dances and these other things that you can buy from it, but mainly these
Talk
dances.
about first hit free.
Right? Yes.
Dang, $1 billion.
Yeah.
What would you buy if you had $1 billion? Well, I already know.
What?
After a house.
Sure, a
You'd
house
buy a
first.
house.
First things first. I have to buy a new TV because my TV's on the floor. And I would buy $1 billion. What would I buy? I already buy
The
a lot of the
Maple
things I
Leafs?
want.
The
No.
Toronto Maple
The Montreal Canadiens. No, I don't think there's anything besides housewares, and there's a purse I want, but I'm probably going to buy that today.
Right,
Like I buy stuff I want, for
Oh, I
better
know.
or worse.
I have like a laundry list. I could tell you right now things.
You're
I
going to buy
buy.
cars and stuff.
Well, that's just goes without saying, but I would say I would definitely order immediately a Prevost motorhome with a stacker trailer behind
Mm-hmm.
it. And then I buy a racetrack or build one. I'd love to have my own private racetrack in my backyard. And then just beyond that, a lake where I
Okay.
could have a fast boat.
So you want like one place with everything. I want multiple places.
Okay.
And of course I'd be flying first class. That would be a great
Well, the $1 billion, you might want to think about a plane.
No,
No.
I'm happy to fly commercially, but first class.
Okay.
Actually,
The only cool thing about the plane, it's a horrific environmental
Yeah.
issue. But let's just push that to the side for
Okay,
one second. The thing that's cool is you go like, you know what? I'm in the mood to go to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and it's 9:45, and I can be up in the fucking air in 25 minutes.
that is true.
That's like a superpower.
That is true. And I do love the non-airport. Remember,
No
I flew
TSA.
private one time with you guys to Las Vegas.
That yes.
No, that you wasn't. You didn't commission a plane.
Yeah,
no,
I feel
no.
inclined to say that a studio sent us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was so nice just driving right up to the plane. You drive right up. Someone puts your bags in the plane for you. You don't even have to touch your stinky big bags.
Yeah, it's just the not going through security is so nice.
I know. That part, you're
and then
right.
not being there an hour early is very nice.
I know.
Like we were watching one time, Kristen and I, a profile on 60 Minutes of Ted Turner.
Mm-hmm.
And he's basically answers the question, what would Dax do if he had $1 billion? Because he has a plane and he has terrible wanderlust and he can't be anywhere for more than 4 days.
Oh.
Jane Fonda was saying the hardest part about being married to him is just every 4 days you got to get on the plane and go somewhere.
Really?
And I'm like, oh my God, that's heaven. I would love to just never be anywhere for more than 4 days.
Okay, except that that's the opposite of what you are also saying, which is to build everything in one spot, a racetrack and a lake and all of these things.
That'd be my hub. I'd keep
Okay.
coming in and out of there. In fact, I'd put a landing strip there so I could just go out my back door.
But why would you even need to go to Jackson Hole if you're going to build a Jackson Hole in your backyard?
I'll tell you exactly why. And this isn't something you're super conscious of yet because you're 31, but I'm 43 and I'm really into slowing time down because it keeps moving faster and faster. And one of the great ways to slow time down is to have a different environment. You ever notice when you go on vacation, the first 3 days feel so long and then slowly you start getting used to it and the last 2 days blow by.
Yes, I
So
agree.
if I just always am in the 3 day thing, I'll be slowing time down.
Okay, but then what I'm telling you is you don't need to build a racetrack and a lake at your house. You can just go to the racetrack or go to the lake.
No, I want my own racetrack.
Oh,
Thank
my
you.
goodness.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Okay. So he said he was the second longest person at SNL.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the first person is Daryl Hammond.
Daryl Hammond.
He was on the show for 14 seasons.
Mm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. So he's not so Keenan just surpassed him.
Seth.
No, Keenan just surpassed Daryl Hammond. So Keenan is the longest
You're saying
running.
Daryl.
No, I'm not. Daryl.
Okay. I think you said Daryl twice. Daryl Hammond.
Did I?
I think so.
Daryl's. Maybe I did.
Daryl's Hammonds.
Maybe I did.
Okay. Daryl Hammond was the longest standing, and then Keenan just passed Daryl.
Yes, and he had 15 seasons, or he has 15 seasons under his belt.
Wow. That's impressive.
And so Seth is third. Beverly Hills Cop is not the highest grossing R-rated comedy.
It is.
No, it's not.
Adjusted for inflation, it is.
Okay.
What? It made
There's
300.
there's always a caveat, but the highest grossing R-rated comedy, if you Google it, is Deadpool. It's Deadpool with 362 million.
Okay. If you also go to Box Office Mojo and do all-time R-rated comedy adjusted for inflation, Beverly Hills Cop is way beyond all of them because it made 300 and some million or 280 some million.
It made 234 million in 1984.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's not when people are ranking, they're not doing it adjusted for inflation. They're doing it on the box office numbers. If you Google it, that's not coming up, which means that's not how people are evaluating it.
I don't really care how people are evaluating it. The question is, what is the most successful R-rated comedy of all time?
Highest grossing
yeah.
is not. It's not the most successful. You said highest
Fine,
grossing.
highest grossing.
Is Deadpool.
Okay. Money changes. So you can't be measuring. It's a different denomination. You're using like inches in one and feet in the other, and you can't do that. If you want to know what the most successful R-rated comedy of all time is, it is Beverly Hills Cop by a long shot.
Okay.
It just is.
Okay, I believe you. But if you're talking to someone and you're saying the highest grossing R-rated comedy is Beverly Hills Cop, and they might say, no, it's Deadpool, they're right.
Sure. You're absolutely right. But is the point of having the conversation to evaluate what was the biggest R-rated comedy of all time or not? Because that's really why we're even having the conversation. The goal is to ascertain what is the most successful R-rated comedy of all time. It's not to say like what today, that's not my motivation.
Yeah, but I just don't want, this is a fact check, and I don't want people walking around in their head thinking that is true, because technically not true. Deadpool, but you're right that you have to take into account inflation, but
It's kind of
by
like
common standards, Deadpool is the current highest grossing R-rated comedy.
yeah, I concede to that. But
Okay.
it's kind of like people saying Avatar is number one, although Avatar may actually, but the most successful movie of all time is Gone with the Wind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, we got heated there. It was
Yeah,
fun.
because
It was
I
fun.
do feel like sometimes I give facts and then you're there's always a caveat when
Well, that's a really relevant caveat because I wasn't bringing up Beverly Hills Cop just to say that it made more than Deadpool. The point I was making is here is a 19-year-old guy who happens to be the lead of the most successful R-rated comedy in the world of all time. That's the point I'm making. So if you say that I didn't make that point, I have to defend that point. That's what I was saying. He was in the unicorn of all movies at 19 or 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, well, not really. Ryan Reynolds was in the unicorn.
right.
Yeah, I would just go, that's not, I don't agree with that point.
Okay.
Oh, we're really having a fight now.
Well, no, we're not having a fight. I just sometimes I feel like I can't say anything and you didn't say adjusted for inflation,
You're right. I didn't say that.
which I mean, I guess you probably wouldn't. Why would anyone be so specific? But
What I could easily do is change I could easily change it from highest grossing to most successful.
I guess now in my head, I'm like, did you even say highest grossing? I don't know. Maybe you didn't. I don't remember.
I don't know either.
Okay, last one. Here, two things. So one, you said writers are relegated to doing homework for the rest of their lives and that you'd be on vacation and you'd be thinking about that and Kristen would be having she'd be footloose and fancy free. But I'm just here to say that Kristen is never footloose and fancy free on a vacation, that she too has a lot of balls in the air.
Yeah.
They're not writing balls.
They're
but they
different
are-
balls, but they're yes.
Yeah. And I just wanted, as her wife, I needed to be clear about that.
You needed to defend her.
Yeah.
That was good of you.
That's it.
That's it?
Sure.
Okay, I'm so sorry that I got heated back there, but
Me too.
But I love you still
love you.
tremendously.
Me too.
Once again, we've overcome our differences.
And I will maintain Deadpool as the highest grossing comedy and you'll maintain Beverly Hills Cop, and we can see differently on that.
Yeah, and then it'll be just fine.
That's right.
We can carry on. I love you.
Love you.